Sure.
You're a singer, right?
Oh yeah, well, yeah, I'm used to this. Do it all day.
Yeah, yeah.
Like here or what's good?
No, no,
It's
oh,
good.
perfect.
Oh yeah.
It's okay.
All right.
No, it's great to see you again in Moscow.
All right. Good to be back.
Thank you for coming. And well, actually, we would like to ask you about what's going on in Amon Amarth camp. I mean, a new album because we have been waiting it for almost 2.5 years now.
It's almost
Oh,
2 years. Almost 2 years.
really?
Yeah, yeah. We just started writing new material now, so hopefully we'll be able to record the new album in October, November if everything goes to plan, and I guess the release would be sometime next spring then. So I hope everything works out that way. But you never know what's going to happen. But that's the plan, anyways.
Well, it's kind of working title.
We don't really have no like we've been tossing some ideas around, but we don't really have any working title yet. So we just started writing material. Um, we have some songs and some lyrics. That's it.
Good. Speaking about the lyrics, by the way, some guys call your music Viking metal because of the lyrics. I think
Yeah, yeah,
because actually music-wise you're more into melodic tempos,
yeah.
that Swedish melodic. What do you think about that cliches or
I mean, I don't know.
you got any other
I, I don't really mind. It used to bother me a little bit because for me Viking metal has always been like bands like Enslaved, Einherjar, Borknagar, those Norwegian bands who have like maybe a more black metal approach to their music, because as far as I remember they were the first ones to actually call themselves Viking metal, and we never really did. We called ourselves Viking death metal at a point, but I don't know. I guess people are always gonna put you into categories, and I mean, it doesn't really bother me. That's the way it is.
hmm it doesn't bother all of you, and I mean that comparing to your some colleagues, they were that Celts or some other stuff on stage. You haven't ever wear something like
No, I
that.
mean we've never taken that imagery to our performance. I mean, in our minds, in our the way we see ourselves, we are musicians first and at most, and the fact that we have an interest in you know Viking history and culture doesn't necessarily mean that we want to dress like it. I mean, there are a lot of bands playing about singing about politics, but they're not wearing suits on stage. So it's
Yeah.
I think it's kind of, I guess the image sometimes is cool. It depends on what kind of band you are, but it doesn't really suit us to dress up on stage. It's not our style.
hmm Well, what's the main theme of the upcoming, the next album? Probably any concept or
Uh, as far as I've been toying with an idea to have a concept for it, but I think that when it really comes down to it, it's a lot of work to put a concept together that really feels good. And right now, I think I kind of put that idea on ice. We'll see how it works out. I mean, we're gonna have some stuff that's linked together on the album definitely, but perhaps not the entire album.
music-wise, it's saying good Amon Amarth style.
It's gonna be you're gonna recognize it as Amon Amarth, but of course we will try to come up with some new inspiring ideas. I mean, we always try to develop with each album, and whether it's musically or production wise, but it always has to feel fresh even for us. It's we can't really just go back and repeat everything. So we need to be a bit up to date with our music as well, and to make it interesting for old fans and new fans as well.
Mhm. I think that you are one of the most successful Swedish bands on different continents. I mean that in America, it probably you are the best comparing to your colleagues from Sweden. Am
we do we do very well. I know several other bands, Swedish bands, who do really well as well, like Opeth and In Flames, of course, and I mean there's plenty of bands, Swedish band that can headline in the U.S. definitely, but yeah, we've been fairly successful the past couple of years, and it's been going well now for us over there as well as other countries as well. So it's we've been fortunate enough to have a kind of like a boost going on right now where a lot of people we're gaining a lot of new fans and but still keeping the old ones. So I think that's kind of important.
And I think that some Scandinavian musicians are getting worse when they go to America and that show business and that's being trained producers. Does America influence you in any ways?
I mean,
Music wise.
obviously, music-wise, they haven't. American bands have inspired us, like Slayer, Death, classic bands. But it's when it comes to like the new school of American bands, it's not really our thing. It's not what we write what we want to listen to, not what we think the audience want to listen to. Because I think if we try to write stuff that is trendy right now, then I don't think we'd survive. I mean, we wouldn't enjoy it. The crowd would definitely not enjoy it. So it's better to stay true to who you are and to what we love, and hopefully people enjoy it. And so far, it's been a good recipe for us.
From our point of view, you're probably one of the best live acts.
Well, thank you.
What was the weirdest thing has ever happened on you on stage, if you can remember right now?
Well, we had two really cool shows here in Russia last time we were here in St. Petersburg, and obviously here in Moscow, where people were just crazy about the stage diving thing. It was hard to be on stage because like, people were coming up all the time, so that was kind of funny. But also, like I remember a few years back, we played in Israel, and that was perhaps the single weirdest show that we've done, because it started out with like armed guards, people with weapons, standing on stage, and
Really?
yeah, and people were just going fucking nuts, and they were beating people who were trying to get up and do stage dive and all that stuff, and people were just insane, and we realized that somebody's going to die if this continues, so we had to stop playing, get off stage, and then go on stage and tell people to cool down, or we couldn't continue playing because the club owner was like, if this goes on, I'll shut it down. But they did. They cooled down until we announced the last song, and all hell broke loose again. But it was a lot of fun. It was great.
Fortunately, everybody survived.
Everybody survived. It was a good show.
That's, I think, Israel for you, exactly.
Yeah,
Probably a common thing.
yeah. It was kind of weird. I mean, you go all over the world, of course, and you experience different things. I mean, South America as well. Last year was fantastic. Great people, great audiences everywhere. So, yeah, it's really cool to be able to travel the world and meet so many cool fans and like metalheads, and to see that metal is strong wherever you go. Even if it's just a small metal community, the people who are into it are very dedicated, which is fucking great.
Look, continuing this theme is probably not probably, it's absolutely the first case we have seen. We have never seen those borders in front of the stage. Was it yours, man?
I don't know. I think it was we had problems last time with so many people coming on stage that we could hardly play. And I mean, we like it when people come on stage dive. But the main problem I think was that the people who were like in charge of security, they were, they were not doing a good job towards the people who came up on stage. So we were afraid that it was going to interfere with the show on this tonight, and we don't want that. We want people to be able to enjoy the show and to be able to play for people. And it's difficult. You want people to have a great time, of course, and be able to stage dive as much as well possible. But we also have to think of people's security. So it's a balance act, really. If it was up to me, I could have said, yeah, we don't need those barriers. But yeah, last time was just fucking crazy. So wise from experience, I think it's maybe it's a good choice. We'll see. You know, hopefully people can have a good time anyways. And
Have you ever jumped off to the?
oh yeah, I used to do it, but not anymore because I weigh like over 100 kilos, so I'd kill some people if I did that.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
All right.
Could you please say a couple of words for audience of One Rock TV?
All right. Здравствуйте, товарищи. Меня зовут Johan. I'm from Amon Amarth, and you're watching One Rock TV.